Hey there, my fishing friends, and welcome back to the channel. Your friendly neighborhood angler and forecast expert here, ready to dive into what promises to be a truly interesting day on the water. We're talking about Thursday, February 5th, 2026, a day that might make some of you want to stay bundled up inside, but for us, dedicated anglers, it's another chance to outsmart the fish. Today, we're diving deep into the national forecast for the United States, finding those hidden hotspots and giving you the secrets to a successful winter outing. This day is a real mixed bag across the states, from bitter cold and heavy snow in many areas to hints of pre-spawn action down south. It's a day that truly tests our dedication, but also offers unique rewards if you know where to look. Now let's talk tactics for a few of the most promising species, even on a challenging day like this. First up, for those of you in the colder climes, especially out west, let's focus on trout, whether it's rainbow, brown, or cutthroat. These hardy fish are often your best bet when the temperatures drop. Where to search? In western states like New Mexico, rivers such as the San Juan River below Navajo Dam and the Rio Grande offer consistent winter trout fishing, especially in deeper, oxygenated pools and eddies. Fenton Lake, recently stocked, could also be a good option, but always check local ice conditions before heading out, as safety is paramount. The best fishing will be found below big dams. What to catch with? Small jigs, nymphs, and natural baits like power bait or worms work well. For fly fishing, focus on subsurface patterns that mimic nymphs or small crustaceans, presented slowly near the bottom. Use light tackle and sensitive rods to detect those subtle bites that cold water trout often deliver. Next, for our friends in the warmer southern states, particularly Florida, let's talk largemouth bass. They might be a bit sluggish, but pre-spawn activity is definitely on the cards. Where to search? In Florida's mild winter, big largemouth bass are beginning to move into the shallows, preparing for their spawn. Look for heavy vegetation, submerged cover, and shallow flats in lakes like Okeechobee and Istokpoga. The key is to find those slightly warmer areas that attract them. What to catch with? Slow-moving baits are crucial here, friends. Try lipless crankbaits, jigs with plastic trailers, or Texas-rigged soft plastics worked painstakingly, slowly. Early mornings after a cold night might mean deeper spots, but as the sun warms the shallows, the bass will follow. Remember, patience is your best friend. And for those chasing saltwater thrills in the coastal southern states like Florida, redfish and spotted sea trout offer some good opportunities, especially if you're willing to brave the chill. Where to search? Coastal areas of Florida provide chances for redfish and trout. Look for them in shallow water, particularly in potholes, or along the edges of flats during negative low tides. As the tide rises, they move higher onto flats around oyster bars and mangrove shorelines, especially on warmer, sunny afternoons. Deeper water around docks can also be productive, as these areas often hold baitfish. What to catch with? Plastic baits, rigged weedless, or on light jig heads, live shrimp, or artificial shrimp imitations are effective. For redfish, adding some scent to your soft plastics can make a significant difference. Focus on slow, deliberate presentations to entice those cold water bites. Now, let's break down the conditions for Thursday, February 5th, 2026, to understand why the fish will be behaving the way they are. Weather. Friends, the weather forecast for February 5th, 2026 shows a truly challenging picture for many parts of the United States. We're looking at widespread cold, with temperatures dipping into the low 20s Fahrenheit and even single digits overnight in some regions like Connecticut. Expect moderate to heavy snow throughout the morning, transitioning to snow showers and mist by evening, bringing around 0.47 inches of precipitation. Winds will generally be light to moderate, around 6 to 9 miles per hour, initially from the northeast, shifting to west-southwest and north later in the day. These cold temperatures and persistent snow, especially after a reinforcing Arctic cold front earlier in the week in areas like the Great Lakes, will certainly slow down fish metabolism and make them less inclined to chase active baits. While we don't have explicit barometric pressure data for today, the snowy conditions suggest unstable weather patterns, which often means falling or low pressure, a condition that typically makes fish less active. Water temperature. With air temperatures so low, water temperatures across much of the country will be frigid, likely in the low 30s Fahrenheit, or even covered in ice in northern freshwater bodies. This means fish will be lethargic, conserving energy, and holding tight to cover or deeper thermal refuges. However, in the warmer coastal regions, especially in the south, water temperatures will be higher. For instance, snook becomes stressed below 60 degrees Fahrenheit, so finding warmer pockets, such as protected canals or deeper bayous, is crucial. Even a small temperature increase can concentrate fish. Moon phase. Today, February 5th, 2026, we are in a waning gibbous moon phase with about 89.82% illumination. The moon will be in Libra. While many anglers swear by the moon's influence traditionally, the waning gibbous phase, especially right after a full moon, can lead to moderate to poor fishing, as fish activity tends to decrease with waning light. In fact, the Old Farmer's Almanac rates today's fishing potential as poor. Don't let that entirely discourage you, but it's another factor suggesting a tougher bite. General fish activity, overall, my friends, fish activity across the USA on this February 5th will be on the slower side due to the prevailing cold and snowy conditions. Most species will be in a typical winter holding pattern, conserving energy. However, in regions with milder winters, like Florida, we are seeing some pre-spawn movements for largemouth bass and active winter patterns for redfish and trout in shallow, warmer waters or around deep docks. Trout in well-oxygenated, moving cold water rivers will still feed, albeit cautiously. It's a day for patience and precision, focusing on those prime windows when conditions are most favorable. Considering all these factors, the biting cold, the consistent snow, the slow fish metabolism, and the waning gibbous moon phase, rating today as poor for fishing, I'm going to give the overall fishing potential for most of the USA on February 5th, 2026, a rating of capricious. You'll find a bite, but it will be challenging, requiring careful tactics and persistence, especially outside of the warmest southern regions. So, my friends, don't let the cold keep you off the water entirely. Dress warmly, stay safe, and remember, even a capricious day can yield a memorable catch. Tight lines and ni huosta, ni cheshui, may your lines be taut and your scales be few. If you found this forecast helpful, smash that like button, subscribe for more expert insights, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. What are your plans for braving the cold today? Did you manage to find any active fish this winter? Share your stories and tips in the comments below.